A groundbreaking new law took effect overnight in New York. The Child Victims Act gives sexual abuse survivors barred by a statute of limitations a one-year window to file a civil lawsuit against their alleged perpetrators and institutions like the Boy Scouts, schools, or the Catholic Church. Today also happens to mark 1 year since the release of a Pennsylvania grand jury report on alleged sexual abuse by clergy in the Catholic Church. Nikki Battiste has been reporting on this for more than a year. Nikki, you spoke to a man who filed a lawsuit against the Catholic Church just hours ago.
Good morning, Anthony. That's right, and his story is powerful. James Larney has never spoken publicly about the sexual abuse he says he suffered as a child at the hands of a priest in New York City. But today, that changes. As the New York Child Victims Act goes into effect, Larney is coming forward and says he's ready for his day in court. Some of what he has to say may be difficult to hear.
My dad always told me the priest is just one step away from God. You must respect and do whatever he wants you to do.
James Larney says that message from his devoutly Catholic father intensified the confusion and fear he experienced at age 13 when he says his then priest, Monsignor Raphael Pukanevich, began sexually abusing him in the choir loft at St. Anthony of Padua Church on Staten Island.
Very slowly, he put his hand behind my head, and I started to cry quietly, but he was not going to stop, and he guided my head down. This was the behavior for the next, about 18 months.
The priest died in 2000. Larney, now 66, says by the time he was ready to come forward, it was too late. The statute of limitations for any criminal or civil recourse had long passed until now. Does the New York Child Victims Act give you the power back?
Yes, it does. I never thought that this moment would come where I'd be able to legally seek justice.
Larney is now suing St. Anthony of Padua and the Archdiocese of New York. Jennifer Freeman is his attorney. There are critics who say that some people may take advantage of the new law to try to make money. What's your response to them?
This is about accountability and responsibility, holding those institutions responsible for what they allowed or did to children.
The Child Victims Act opens a one-year look-back window in New York, during which any person who was under the age of 18 when they were sexually abused can file a civil lawsuit regardless of their age now. Victims previously only had until age 21 to sue an institution and age 23 to sue a perpetrator.
This isn't just about money. This is about justice, and this is the way America does justice.
Marcy Hamilton is the founder of the child abuse advocacy group Child USA. She expects thousands of lawsuits to be filed against everyone from coaches to Jeffrey Epstein's estate.
We're going to learn about is the hidden dangers to children, hidden child predators across the state of New York that nobody knew about.
And it may not just be New York. According to Child USA, nationally, a total of 18 states and the District of Columbia have new statute of limitation reform laws going into effect this year. 4 states in D.C. are offering a look-back window. What's the one word you would use to describe the Catholic Church today, a year later since the grand jury report?
Corrupt, morally corrupt.
Catholic clergy abuse survivor Sean Doherty has fought for reform in Pennsylvania, where he was sexually abused when he was 10, and where 1 year ago the Catholic Church grand jury report was released. Over the past 12 months, we've traveled with Doherty to Rome for the Vatican Sexual Abuse Summit, and we were there when he confronted this former priest he says molested him.
But I'm certainly sorry for any harm I've caused and ashamed of everything that I did back then.
Doherty says he won't stop fighting for change in Pennsylvania, where victims must file civil lawsuits by age 30. A year ago, you said the statute of limitations is re-abusing me. Is that still the case?
Sure. We're going to see people here in New York file. I still don't have that opportunity.
This was a photo of my first communion on the steps of St. Anthony's.
But Larney does have the opportunity, and for that, he says, he's grateful.
What do you hope the outcome of your lawsuit will be?
I'm hoping that the Catholic Church wakes up and puts an end to this abuse.
We reached out to St. Anthony of Padua about Larney's accusations, and the parish directed us to the Archdiocese of New York. The Archdiocese told us there are no allegations against that priest in his file, and he is not included on any of the lists of accused priests it is published. It says it hasn't seen Larney's lawsuit and cannot comment on it. But the Archdiocese says it encouraged anyone with an allegation to immediately bring it to law enforcement. And the law firm that represents James, just one law firm, has more than 500 clients from the Boy Scout schools filing under this new law.
It's so tough to see James Larney as a little boy smiling, his little smiley face, standing in front of the church, and then cut to years later, 66.
Yes.
Still in such obvious pain. It's tough.
Every victim and survivor I've spoken with over the last year, it never leaves any of them. How could it?
Yeah, and I saw an interview with an expert who said for most child abuse victims, the average age that they come forward is in their early 50s.
It is.
52, 53.
Yep.
And
it haunts them so long.
And most statute of reform laws in most states, you have to come forward by your early 20s. So it's wonderful that so many states are changing those
Powerful
laws.
new tool.
Yeah, at the same time, they have to relive this all over again.
Yeah, very powerful piece, Nikki Battiste. Thank you.